Hello, Internet. This is Lambo, or Jeff. I go by either one. And I wanted to give you a video today, a little bit different than my other ones that I've been doing. On Reddit, a user on Reddit posted asking me to put together a list of all the miniatures I have used to substitute in my Gloomhaven campaign. Because I really like this. I don't want to have standees. Nothing against standees. I just, obviously I build terrain and I like miniatures, so I'm going to, if I have them, I'm going to use them. Or I'm going to find them. So this video is kind of a companion to that list that I'm creating, where I will go through every miniature I'm using in my game. This will be a part of a series because I'm not going to cover them all in this video. I'll just kind of break it up so that each video has 10 or 15 standees or something. I don't know. Some ground rules for when I substitute miniatures. First, I go with what I have. So I've got a variety of games and miniatures and stuff. I like games and war games and miniature board games and stuff. So first I started to look with, I started to search through what I had. Then I also, if I needed to obtain new ones, I tried to keep the price down. I kind of set a limit between hopefully around $3 or less per miniature if I was going to invest in new miniatures for this game. So the most, if not all of these miniatures should be around that price point when you multiply it out by how many miniatures you needed for each monster type. Those kind of how I started. But I also kind of had my own style of things that I wanted. So I know there are some people who've created almost identical models to the Gloomhaven standees, the source art, but sometimes I wanted something a little different. So my style tastes, if you will, trumped sometimes availability and cheapness, depending on what the model was. Nothing against people who've created fantastic models, because I use a lot of them. Okay, sorry. So, gotten through that. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know monsters in the game, and I will be covering one boss, the first boss you encounter in this game, which happens very quickly in this campaign. So, it's not a huge spoiler, but if you don't want to know that, I'll go through the regular monsters, and then the very last monster, I'll give you a warning, will be the Bandit Commander boss. And so if you don't want to see him or anything about him, don't watch the end. Okay, so first I've got the Mindthief and his summons. On the left there you've got his rat swarm, and that is just a bones miniature, Reaper bones, and it's a Vermin rat swarm is the model name. I kickstarted the first edition of Reaper bones back a couple years ago, and so a lot of these miniatures initially are for a lot of my minions and whatever and monster summons are going to be Reaper bones, because I had them, like I said. Next to him is his monstrous rat, and he's not really huge, but compared to the Mindthief, that's monstrous, right? It's about half his size. That is just a Reaper bones rat. I think it comes in a pack of 6 now, $3 or $4. You get like 6 rats of different styles. I picked that one, painted him up, based it, whatever. Okay. I do paint and base my own miniatures, and I do an okay job, I think. I'm no pro. Moving right along, you've got the Tinkerer and his 2 summons that I have proxied thus far. There's a third robot that I know is out there. I haven't gone through all the cards. Our campaign's not that far along yet, but I know this. I know he's got at least 2, so I've made those 2 thus far. On the left, you have a Cygnar Warmachine. That's a Warmachine figure, because I played some Warmachine back in the day. So Warmachine Cygnar Squire is the left Decoy model for the Tinkerer. On the right, you have a really cool model that I downloaded off of Thingiverse. I have a 3D printer, a Creality Ender 3, which is a really nice low-budget printer. And this is a Dutch Mogul creation. Dutch Mogul's the creator who's made this model. It's called a Barrel Golem, and he's going to be our battle bot for the Tinker. And I know I think there's a kill bot for the Tinker as well. I haven't come up with a model for it yet. I'm sure I'll get it off of Thingiverse because they've got some really cool stuff. But thank you, Dutch Mogul. Awesome sculpt or creation. Okay. Then let me angle the camera. Okay, sorry. Over here, this is just to show you some options. So some of these I will show options for things I could have used. And so here you've got the Spellweaver, and she has a Spirit Ally, I believe is what it's called. Mystic Ally, there you go. On the left is the model I use, which is a Bones figure as well. She's a Banshee by the name of Labella DeMornay. And I probably should have said that all of this, I'm going to put everything in a list down below. So if you don't want to watch this video, you can just look at the bottom. I probably should have said that in the intro. But anyway, it's there. On the right is a model I could have used, and that's a Mantic model from the game called Dungeon Saga, and I played that for a while with my gaming group, and we 3D modeled that game as well, because I 3D model my games. And that character is a monster by the name of Elshara. She was kind of a boss. So I could have used that for the Mystic Ally. I went with the one on the left, but also a perfectly suitable substitute if you have it. Moving on into the bandits. Okay, so your Bandit Guards. These are all bones, Reaper Bones figures, characters of various types. I will have their names down below. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I know you've got like a pirate back there. Some of these are like, I think this guy back here is kind of a heroic rogue of some form, or the one on the right is a Pathfinder hero, and she's a rogue from Pathfinder miniatures line. But they're all Reaper Bones. I just picked 6 that I had in my Bones box, and I painted them up because they looked the most bandit-like. I've got some others on standby for when I need more than 6 bandits. The first scenario only needed 6, so that's what I painted. And then as I need more, I'll paint more up. Okay, moving along, we have the Bandit Archers, and here is where I've done. I've got elites to show you that I use different models for elites sometimes, not all the time. But I've got your first 4 on the left here. They are all Reaper Bones Archer figures as well. Below in the description, I'll have their actual model names that I've just painted and based. And then on the right here, I have these bigger, cooler monsters or models. They are from Cool Mini or Not's A Song of Ice and Fire wargame, and they are Bolton Bastards Girls Archers. And I painted those up, and they are my elite Bandit Archers for now. Okay, so we're going to keep going, and now we have a series of skeletons that you could have picked from, and I'm going to start with, so these are living bones. The first on the left are just the Reaper Bones skeletons. So came in the Reaper Bones Kickstarter, could have used those. Next to them are Mantic figures. They're Mantic skeleton warriors from the Dungeon Saga game. I used them initially when I started playing, and then I recently picked up Rune Wars on a screaming good deal for Black Friday a couple months ago, and so I painted up their figures, and then I started numbering the bases then, because that made it way easier as we're playing the game. But they have now become my newest living Bones models. These are Rune Wars Reanimates from the Wyquar faction, if I said that right. Wyquar, I don't know. Moving along, let me shift over here. Okay. So then we have living corpses, and now another option I could have used. That's just a zombie figure from Reaper Bones back there. Reaper Bones miniatures line. Next to them are the models I do use for the standard living corpses. That is a Ghast from the Reaper Bones line as well. I thought they fit more along the lines of that source art, and I like them. They're bulkier. I could have used also Zombicide's zombies, but I haven't painted those ones yet, so I don't have any to show you. But I do have Zombicide Black Plague, and I use their fatties as my elites. So Zombicide Black Plague fatties make fantastic elite living corpses. You could probably even use them for the regular ones, but then you'd have to do something else for elites. So that's what I do there. Next we have cultists. These cultists, I looked a lot for cultist models that I liked and wanted to use. I ended up going with, these are Frostgrave cultists from a game called Frostgrave. Never played it. I just bought the box of like 12 or 10 or something for these cultists, just for this game. And that ended up being less than, I think, $2 or $3 a miniature. So that's where I was like, okay, I want it. And then I painted them up. You customize them. They're really customizable. Every arm and headpiece can be switched and modified. So I just picked a couple that I liked, and I only needed 4 for the first scenario that we had cultists in. So that's what I've gone with. custom bases on my 3D printer, and then I number the bases as well at that point. Going into Night Demons, I like these models a lot. These are Dark Age Dragiri Zephyrs are the names of these models. Let me get them out of the way there so you can see it better. Dark Age is a miniature war game. I don't know much about it. I know it's Cool Mean or Not produced. And I picked these up on a Black Friday sale as well, which is how I got them for a good price. And I think they make great night demons, because they're, shadowy and whatnot. Okay, then we're going into Frost Demons. This is just a straight 3D print. This Frost Demon is off of a company called Rocket Pig Games. Creates 3D print STL files, which are the files you need to print. And I purchased their Ice Golem file model, which you see in front of you, and printed up on my 3D printer, printed up a custom ice base for it, and that's what we've been using for the ice, for the Frost Demons thus far. And I like it. I'm still learning how to paint ice though, so it looks kind of blotchy, but it works. Okay, then we move into Flame Demons. I gotta scoot around the table on this part. It's a long, sorry. Okay, so here you've got your Flame Demons. There you've got your Flame Demons. And I've got two types. I've got an Elite and I have a Standard. So your Standard Flame Demon is a 3D print that I got off the website My Mini Factory. That is by a modeler by the name of Printed Obsession. That's his modeler name. And that's just a Fire Elemental. And next to him is a Reaper Bones large Fire Elemental. And it was in my Kickstarter as well, so I just painted it up. So that is a rundown of the basic models I'm using thus far. I'll do another video in the near future with another groupings. I'll include my Inoxes and my City Guards and other monsters and whatnot. Okay, so now as your spoiler, I'm going to go look at the Bandit Commander boss. So if you don't want to watch it, you can tune out now. But, okay, around this corner here, we're going to flip over, and here is your Bandit Commander boss. And the model I used is a Song of Fire and Ice model. That is a Bolton Ramsey figure. Wait, is it Bolton Ramsey? Yeah, Ramsey Bolton, there you go. That's his name, I was right. And that is the figure I used to proxy for him. So the Song of Fire and Ice minis are slightly larger than the other standard ones, but it's a boss figure, so I wanted it bigger. And I thought he fit pretty well against what the boss is supposed to look like. So, back up. It's all my terrain, and now we're out of focus. Seriously out of focus. Oh, there we go. So, that is video 1 of all the miniatures I am using to proxy Gloomhaven, and the terrain I also use. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. And then if you want a particular model, it's going to be in that description below. And if you have other model ideas, I'd love to hear them or see pictures or whatnot, if you can do that on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, hope you'd enjoy this video, and I will post more later. Happy gaming.